Lion City, okay, and then there's a loss in translation, probably, okay, and there is a Pasir Panjang inscription, very solid evidence, and it mentioned the religion practice here, it mentioned the king's names, okay, so, and I did the piece of stones to it around 8th century, which is very near to赤土and Yi Jing. So, but because of these topics, I'm not going to touch on these two, but my books come in, it's going to have a lot of discussion on them. Okay.
So very in-depth knowledge.
Because we are inside a beautiful maritime.
That's the only sample we have. Stoneware that we are very low is invented in around, but the people in Canton until now, not yet.
So archaeological findings in terms of comparing this with
well, because there was a blizzard.
What you want them to
Today, we had a very good and elaborate talk by Dr. Tai. I visited him several times looking at the pottery and many parts of history. So I think there will be many opportunities for this group together here. We welcome all of you here and welcome to work with you to bring different parts of history to life so that the future generations can learn about our very long maritime history and also find ways to the gallery and as you look outside for the maritime landscape data talk. Today we found from, I think, more food for thought or inscription for thought to see whether we can bring it back maybe another 200 years. So with that, I thank all of you for your participation here today and thanks to all our friends for inviting us.
Bring quite a refreshing perspective of the historical link between China and Singapore. So it does give us a new perspective of ways back beyond what we originally believed in.
When I was studying in NUS, he always very nice and kind and knowledgeable teacher for me. It's a very precious opportunity for me to attend this meeting.
Well, I found the talk absolutely fascinating. I didn't know that Singapore's maritime history stretched so far back. In our public consciousness, it even goes back to the early 14th century when Sang Nila Utama actually came to Singapore. But who would have known that the trade routes linking China to India passed by Singapore starting in the early 7th century. This was a very interesting talk and I'm very grateful to Professor Tai for sharing with us his in-depth and expertise knowledge, showing that we are indeed, have always been a maritime city.
Really interesting. Learned a lot about the history and what the potential was of the origin of the name of the Lion City in Singapore.
I've learned a lot more new things about how Singapore, in the sense, in the history that dates back hundreds of years, and very thankful for the time and the session sharing the rest of the folks.
I think one key takeaway for me would be that Singapore has a pretty long history, and I think it should actually extend to more of such people. It'd be good to have a much more younger crowd here to actually have a better appreciation of the history of Singapore. Yeah.
今天听了Dr. 台游新的演讲，深有感触。对新加坡的航海事业的历史部分有了更进一步的了解和认知。今天收获蛮多的，不仅仅是我印象里童话故事里面的那个狮子城，对。
Quite extraordinary, and I think that there's quite a bit of research to be done. But I'm really privileged to be here. To also hear the questions and answers from both the speaker and also the different people here, and it's truly a great time of learning and a good time for pondering as well on these new ideas that Dr. Tai has actually shared with us.
We had a very interesting talk this evening. In school, we were always thought that Stamford Russell founded Singapore, but actually, the history of Singapore goes back way beyond that, and that is one of the takeaways. We should try and keep the maritime DNA alive and going as part of the Singapore culture.
Thank you very much. Okay, there's a light refreshment and some here yourself. And be sure responsible. When you drink, you don't drive.